What's up, guys? I'm Mike.
I'm Luke.
Today we are checking out Extra Booster 1 Memorial Set, the first additional, expansion set, whatever you would call it.
Yeah, like the extra set, the in-between set.
The mini set for the One Piece TCG. We're going to go through all the red cards today and then rating them on a scale of 1 to 5. 3 being like the average. I'll play this card. 4 is a card that you want to see in the deck. It starts leading you towards 5 out of this world.
Perfect card.
Perfect card for what it's trying to do. Love that. And also flavor awards for cards that are flavorful.
So first guy on the list here is the Kozuki Oden.
Kozuki Oden!
Oh, so good. And yeah, it's a 4 life leader. It's a red-green type Land of Wano, Kozuki clan. Our effect is all of your Land of Wano type characters, character cards without a counter gain a plus 1,000 counter according to the rules. Done ×1 when attacking. If you have a Land of Wano type character with a cost of 5 or more, this leader gains plus 1,000 power until the end of until the start of your next turn. So
this card, this is kind of like what was it from the last set? Leader would have been very good if this was like 2 or 3 sets ago. This leader would have been very good if this is 2 or 3 sets ago. I think the only thing about this battle, I'm super hyped on this card. I'm gonna try to make this card work. Or I'm going to try to make the support in this set work, because I think the Wano support is so good, both in the new red colors and the green colors. It's just, too fair.
Yeah.
Like, it's so fair, and it's so powerful for how fair it is, that it just, I don't think it can compete that much. I do think NA's, general aggression may lead people to try this more. Some of the best Wano cards are, hindered by not having counter, what was his name? Denjiro. It is Denjiro now, right?
It is Denjiro, yeah.
Yeah, actual hard 5-drop Denjiro is really good, but you can't play it. And you have Kozuki Oden as the leader. Yeah. So you get all the additional effects, and then he's a Whitebeard 6k base.
Basically,
that's so easy to do for one. I think this card's great. I'm going to give this card actually, again, we talk about, rating leaders higher than, the main cards. I'm giving this a 5. I think this is a perfectly well-designed character. I think it's a 5-. It's like a 4.85. It's almost, I'm giving it a 5, but it's at the bottom of the 5s for leaders. Sakazuki, Katakuri, those are hard 5s. This is we grant you a seat on the council, but not the title of master, you know? So,
but not the title of meta. I agree. Yeah, no, it is an insanely fair card. I am very interested in the fact that, it makes a lot of things viable. So
because in Kinemon, the worst thing was oh yeah, I just have a dead hand. I'm winning on board, but you just attacked into me because it's your only choice, and I actually have nothing in hand, so I lost the game.
Yeah, you had to rely on the 0 cost counters. You had to rely on Puck Gibbs and things like that. Yeah. So this is better. I mean, it's better, but not. So yeah,
I'm really excited to play this and just play Kinemon, with just new green stuff.
Yeah.
I'm super in on it. So 5.
I wonder how good 8 cost Oden is in this. I want it to be good. I keep wanting that card to be good.
I think it might get a little outpaced by the other 8 costs in this format. That's the only thing.
Yeah.
I will say this card should be more flavorful. The fact that the other Land of Wano type characters, the Akazaya flavor-wise, protect him, but they failed to protect him, feels like a flavor failed to me. So, not awarded here.
Yeah.
Next up, we have Izo, who I'm very excited for. This card is both playable in Wano decks and in Whitebeard.
Yeah.
It's a 7k for 5, so we're already on stat here. It's also ranged, even though this is Izo with a sword, and it's not Izo when they go back to Wano. Yeah.
Oh, well, Izo has a gun right there. He's holding a gun.
Oh my god, he is! Slipped it in the bottom. Yeah. That's Han shot first shit. Where it's you're not ready for it, but it is there and it gets you. On play, give a rested dawn to your leader or one of your characters. So immediately turn on the leader on curve going first. We don't need to do any other work.
Yep. Is a 1k.
Yeah, it's just a 1k when in that. But even in Whitebeard, it's right. You play this on curve going first. And you're I'm going to swing my 7k Whitebeard now. On your opponent's attack once per turn, you may trash 1 card from your hand. If your leader has Land of Wano or Whitebeard type, give it to one of your opponent's leaders or characters minus 2k during this turn. This ability is good in a 4 out of 5 way in Kozuki Oden. And I'm using this way more liberally, by the way. This is not my skill, buddy. This ability is a 5 out of 5 comparatively in Edward Newgate leader. Getting to ditch an event card that you're not going to be able to cast. Being able to ditch your extra Newgates, ditch your extra aces is just so... For 2k counter, basically, is so powerful. I mean, it's once per turn, right? But just converting 1 every couple of turns, or upgrading 1 case every couple of turns, right, is going to get you a lot of value.
I also think that this is actually very good for like the pudding stuff that every Whitebeard is afraid of right now.
Yes.
You know, like being able to like just use this on your opponent's attack and be like, okay, I do get that 2K counter in place before you end up pudding me or anything like that. That feels good, you know. So I think this is a good solve to that answer for that question of like, what is Whitebeard with like, what does it do against pudding, you know? So.
Yeah, it plays on board in a more effective way. And it's a 5/7, so power reduction removal is going to have a hard time, like Red Purple Law. Cost reduction removal is going to have a decent hard time, like Sakazuki, Moria, etc. I give this a 4 out of 5. Leaning towards 5. I'm like more towards a 4.5 on this card, even though the amount of play it sees doesn't represent it. I think it's such a really good design card.
Yeah. I'll give it a 5 out of 5 in the context of Oden. I will give it a 4 out of 5 in the context of Whitebeard.
Really? Yes. I think it's the opposite.
Oh, shoot.
That's wild. I think it's the opposite. Because the Oden's already lending a pseudo ability.
Yeah. I think it's just because the card becomes a 1K counter 5/7 in Oden.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
You think the fact that it defends with itself in hand is better than the value you're getting out of the board and just saying this is the world. That's so interesting.
Right?
We'll
I mean, that takes like 2 different types of players.
No,
you know?
I didn't even think about that at all as a leverage. I still disagree, but I like where you're coming from.
I agree, yeah.
Yes. Our next card, Praise Be.
Oh, it's so good.
Cannon Killer.
Oh, it's so good, you guys.
4/5, and Heat's in there too because we love Heat.
Whatever.
One of the most underrated characters. One of our few dual attributed characters is Slash and Special.
Yeah.
Rush. When this card attacks, if your opponent has 2 or less life cards, this character gets 2,000 power during this turn.
So good. So good.
5 out of 5.
Zoro's so bad.
5 out of 5.
5 out of 5. 5
this
out of
is
5.
a perfectly great aggression card. Like, it flat in a Zoro deck or any just red leader deck, it's going to do its thing.
Yeah.
And, like, Red Purple Law, where you can abuse it and just free play it, it's awesome. It also, like, you know, in these decks that want to aggressively take life, like, early, like Sakazuki, because they want to have more options of pitching or more ways to combo cards, like, because they have to, like, do a lot of, like, pairing cards together, get good effects. What this does is that by taking the life aggressively, you either need to defend earlier, which means you're not going to have so many ways to combo cards, which is like the really impressive thing right now is like card selection and comboing cards that are replacing themselves. You either need to counter to make sure this thing is offline, or when it's online, it's demanding a higher rate of cards in your hand that like evens out basically the card selection and the card value these decks like Katakuri, Gecko Moria, Sakazuki are all getting by playing Morias, by drawing cards, by cards replacing themselves, by gaining life and then, getting a trigger off life or just putting it in the hand after gaining it, right?
Yeah.
This card is a perfect way of raising the red floor without, like, making something that's game warping in terms of you have to play this card or it's an effect. Like, this whole card's ability revolves around decisions made in the game. It's not like Gecko Moria where the ability can't be really interacted with in some way. You can mitigate this card actually by choosing how you take damage, when you take damage, on what like resource turns your opponents are on, or what you're on if you're the one trying to execute the card. Whereas like a card like Moria, because we don't have any good graveyard disruption, it just warps the entire game because it is a bomb that can't really be interacted with.
Right. I agree with that assessment. Honestly, it's such a knowledge check, I think. Of a card, like, it's so good. And I think, like, also, this card art is beautiful. I love it, dude. It's amazing. It's a really, really good flavor card. I think this gets a flavor stamp, honestly.
I don't know if I give it the flavor stamp. I just like the art.
Yeah, I do. You know what?
There's really nothing that says kid on this, so I'm going to disagree with that.
Okay.
I also want to apologize for talking so much over you on this one.
That's fine.
As a Red Purple Law player that's been brewing on this card, I just have had a lot of, like,
as a Zoro
digested
player.
thoughts. Zoro player is like, it's red, it has rush, it attacks big, I'm going to play it.
Let's go. That's
so I've had a lot digested
yeah.
Viewers, so I wanted to get that all out.
It's great because you have, like, this, like, huge, like, explanation of, like, this is good. And then for me, I'm like,
Swings 8?
Yeah, swings 8? It's good, man. For 4? Whoa.
Also, the fact, big ups to, like, every red deck with this card, upgrade of Zoro, obviously, but not just because of how powerful it is, because it's one more Dawn, and you get, in the second half of the game when the rush is more relative, or more relevant, a 7k base. But the fact that you have a base that can swing over Borsellino, Sabo, without, like, having to give anything else. Obviously, you're a Zoro player. You can always swing right into the Borsellino with your Zoro. But for all of us regular folks out here, I'm curious how much Whitebeard players are going to be drawn to this card, try to play Whitebeard again. I think this, into like a Straw Hat build, could be like really, really deadly.
Be really fun.
We have Koza. 3k for 2, ranged, 1k counter. When attacking, you may give your active leader minus 5,000 power this turn. Give it to one of your opponent's characters, minus 3,000 powers this turn.
It's a VV.
Yeah, I'm actually giving this card a 3. I think this card could secretly be very broken especially like when we lurch more towards mid-range matchups. The biggest problem that like people are gonna be like, why are you giving this a 3? It should be like a 2 if anything. Is the trading being Alabasta. Imagine a world where board control is just so much more important, and I'm just playing like Red Purple Law, for example, because why would I ever do that? And just play this and just have an active, like give up an attack for my leader to get a free Gordon without wasting a card, and then do it next turn, and just invest Dawn and swings onto my cards on board.
Right.
Especially when I'm free playing cards in my hand.
Yeah.
Like the first turn, it's like, this is my card I'm playing on the turn, and then I'm free playing another card from hand to actually build a body on the board. Every turn after that, this is already on board, I'm getting the minus without investing Dawn. I'm just giving up a leader attack, but I'm investing more into what, at that point, I'm just like trying to like attack leader for anything to chip, whether it's hand or life that they're giving me, and just not let them have a board.
It feels like tricksy shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like the obvious is to put in VV, right? And the obvious is to put in VV and then play Pell and then value, right? But like, yeah, I mean, like for the more two brain celled folk out there, like I think that's a really good assessment.
I mean, Marco's coming out, like,
dude. Yeah.
This as like an additional like reach of reduction.
Yeah.
Because remember, you can still attack with the Marco to get the attack trigger. So you can get 2 free reductions for just like after you've resolved on board. You get a 3,000 activation, a 3,000 or 2,000 for Marco, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Off the
3,000.
attack with 1 Dawn. Yeah. It's not attack, but you're just basically activating effect at that point.
Yeah.
And then you're able to reach up to such big characters or KOs.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm gonna give this a 3. I know most people are gonna go with a 2. I'm gonna give it a 3.
2.
Cool.
0.5.
What we got here?
Yeah.
Oh, I can't be really. I was like, I'll let Luke read this one.
I'd play it in a Whitebeard. It's a 1/3. No, I wouldn't even play it in a Whitebeard.
I'm giving it a 2 because it's a 1/3 that's Whitebeard traded.
I don't even know this guy. Whitebeard ally.
Yeah, but it counts for Whitebeard Pirates for.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, but I just don't know who this guy is.
He's just one of the random dudes that pops again. You know, he's like in the extended Fleet League Jellyfish dude and whatnot. I'm giving this a 2 only because it's a 1/3 red card in Whitebeard, so it's a Makino target.
Yeah.
It's a Dogura, or not Dogura, Magura.
Yeah.
Target.
Searchable by Izo.
Searchable and all the Whitebeard stuff. Discardable to all the Whitebeard stuff. Discard to Marco.
Yeah, I was gonna give it a 3 because of that, but like
2.
Yeah.
I would give this.
2?
Yeah.
2. I was gonna give it a
2.5.
I'll give it a 2.5. I'll give it a 2.75 because that monkey has a gun.
Listen, Vanillas in Limited, I give them a 2. In Constructed, I give them a 1. But this is actually like I See a World, so I'll give it a 2.
Okay, I'll give it a 2.
You can give whatever you want.
I'll give it a 2.75.
Yeah, you can read this one too.
Oh my god, yeah. Tony.Chopper.
Wait, hold on.
What do we feel about this manga?
I think it's good. I don't know what the hate is with this manga. I just wish there was a.
Wish it was cooler.
I know that the manga panels are usually more origin based. I do wish that there were some more forms shown off in this.
Yeah.
I think that could have been really cool.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I'm super down for it. Or in this one, if this one just had like all the forms showing off, you know.
I do like this.
It
one
is
better.
cute, but like imagine it's like pinwheel split and it's like all the forms, you know.
Yeah. Like it was like the leaders actually.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Yeah. So Tony.Chopper, Boku Doctor. Cost 3, strike, 4K, counter 1, Dawn equip 2. When attacking, give up to one of your opponent's characters minus 3,000 Dawn, or minus 3,000 power during this turn.
Hot take, I'm trying to post Sakaban, and yes, there's still removal decks running around, but where like removal isn't as pertinent and easy. I'm thinking about running some of this in Red Purple Law. You play it on curve, you go first, you play it on 3.
Yeah.
If they don't remove it, you attack for 6, reduce by 3.
It's really good.
Yeah, I don't think it's like actually that good. I've seen some Japanese lists
I've seen lists. Yeah, I've seen
do well with it. I don't think it's the truth.
I think they run it as a 2 of.
But if I pull the manga, I will sleeve it up and won an event in my Red Purple Law deck. I promise you. I promise you that. I think this card's like a 3.
Yeah.
Like I see why people would play it. I don't feel a need to play it. Maybe the Chopper Leader coming out in 07 will really lend something there. Maybe when we get a refreshed Red Straw, because you think about it, there hasn't been Red Straw hats, which is good
for a while
because we were really on the gas and it was really incredibly like unfun in a deck building perspective from what we were getting. But at some point we will go back to that. Yeah. And so I could see like if we really lean towards like more of a mid-range red deck with next to Ancestral hats, then this could be pretty good in it.
Yeah, I just the 3 cost is the thing that like Gadatsu will kill this.
Sure.
Like anything will kill this.
Sure.
You know, like that's why I'm just like, it's a good card. Like it's pretty loaded in its like effects and everything. But like anytime I see a card like that, I just like my like Kill Bill sirens go off. I'm just like, it's gonna die.
And that's why it's a 3 though, because like those are outside forces. I can't give it like a 2 because of that. So
I'll give it a 3.
Manga wise, where do we like this manga?
I wish it was cuter or cooler. I wish they.
I think this is so cute. What do you mean?
I don't think it's cute.
This is a great
I think
frame.
There could have been cuter things. There could have been cuter topics.
Or not frame panel. This is a great panel.
I don't think
you know my hot take about it? I wish it was pre-time skip outfit.
Yeah.
Which I know why it isn't.
I know why it's not.
Because it never is for any of the mangas. But big fan.
Yeah.
Next up we got Yamato. I'm super high on this card. This is a 5 cost, 5k power with strike, 2k counter. Activate main, Nami. 1-drop Nami.
Nice.
Give Dawn.
Nice.
Give Dawn. I'm super big on this card. It's a 2k count. It's like better than the Nami because it's a body on board or not better than Nami. Sorry, everyone's gonna come out for that.
Yeah.
But it's an upgrade on this version of the card because it's lethal on board. It's a 2k counter, which makes up for the fact that it's like equal traded. It's mirror traded, 5 cost, 5 power. And then it also gives the Rested Dawn, which is great in the archetype it wants, but can also be great in other red archetypes.
Yeah.
So for that, I'm giving it a 3.
I think it's really good. I think it's a 3.5 because in the context of Oden, it turns on Oden's attack ability.
LittleOars Jr, 7k, 6 cost with strike, 1k counter. Once per turn of this character would be KO'd by an effect, you may trash 1 event or stage card from your hand instead. Doesn't stop bottom decking. I give this a 2 out of 3.
Yeah, not much to say here.
The fact that it's also like event or stage, like it's clearly very good in the. This is clearly, I will say, this is one of the few times where you look at the Whitebeard deck, like when it came out when it said 1, 2 was or 2. 3 was different because it was Ace, so there were a lot of events, but it was definitely like intended for Ace more than Whitebeard. And yes, you can play this in Ace, but in terms of like if you play it in Edward Newgate, it's like they were like, people really like playing 8+ 1-drop events in Edward Newgate plus 2-drop ones. So I guess we'll just lean into that and make it this. But yeah, I just don't think it's doing enough. It's a 6/7. It's like I'd rather just pay for a 5/6 Marco that does basically the same thing.
Yeah. You know what this card makes me think? It makes me really think that when they were making Whitebeard first, right?
Yes.
They had this card drawn or sketched up somewhere.
Yeah.
And they were like, oh yeah, maybe they want to get rid of Moby Dick. And that's why you could kill stage.
Oh, you think this was held?
I think this was a held card.
You think this was held? Oh, that's super.
You know what I mean?
Or Moby Dick's coming back. Just shut up and come with us. So 1-drop event. Counter, look at the top 5 cards of your deck and play 1 animal type character to cost a 3 or less and place the rest of the bottom of your deck in any order. So
this is the Chopper Searcher.
Super bad right now.
Yeah.
Very good in the Chopper deck. Pay 1, get a 3. At the worst, you're paying 1, getting a blocker with upside from just what's in this set.
Yeah.
Like the animal deck is looking fire with an event like this out the rip.
Isn't Laboon also a 3/5?
Yes. Which one?
There's a black and a red one, right?
They're all black.
Oh my god.
Which is why I was mad, because you can't play Laboon in the Chopper deck!
That doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense.
It made me very sad. Because the leaks originally were Chopper was black-red.
Yeah, I thought that was true. Okay, well, whatever.
But yeah, no, remember, that's the one that had Marco being yellow.
Karoo is 3. I think.
I just don't care. It's not Laboon. Anyway, this card's actually very good. Also, the fact that it's counter means your opponent has to commit that. Like, even if they know this card exists, they have to commit their attacks before they see what comes on board. 2, it means that, like, after the attacks are done, if they do have interaction for the card anyway, but they would have extra Dawn, you've now wasted them having extra Dawn for the attack. Yeah. So I think it's really good. I give this, knowing that they are going to actually support Animal, I'm going to give this a 3 with the asterisk being this card could easily become a 2 if the archetype is just a huge gimmick and doesn't actually have legs at all. Like, I don't even meta legs. Like, this is a 3 even if it's just an okay deck that doesn't have, like, potential outside of your local game store. Yeah. But as long as it does there, this card's a 3. If not, it's a 2.
Yeah, I think it's a 3, just on habit of it being like a search thing. So
it's also a straw card, so.
Yeah, I gave Germ a 3, so.
There's no way you could defeat me. Counter for 3. KO up to one of your opponent's characters, 6,000 base power or less. Base power being huge.
Yes.
That you do not count the Dawn.
Yep.
They're like, I'll put 4 Dawn on this thing, and you're like, cool, I'll kill it anyway.
Yeah, this is like, this really slaps people in the face when they like try to pre-dawn up Borsellino. Yeah. Yeah, just to dodge your jet pistols. So
this is a sad scene too. Water 7 trading is nice. Also trigger, KO, a 5 KO, a space. Also, Oden triggers base too!
Ooh.
This card's so interesting.
Ooh,
I
good.
am giving this a 3 because it just gives you a new unique play line for removal we don't have right now that is very powerful. I am kind of excited to play this in Ace.
Dude,
like,
yes,
when
yes.
in a Straw Hat deck, I'm like...
Oh, yeah. 100%. I'm giving this a 3.5. I'm going to give it like...
Whoa!
I'm close to a 4 on this guy.
Damn.
Because on like virtue of like Brook being like trash a character,
Yes.
right? Yeah, it's getting around like, yeah, like you said, it's like a different play line. So I think it's of the...
Well, I was just saying because it's a counter removal.
Ah,
Like,
okay,
for
yeah,
hard
yeah,
removal,
yeah.
like Fire, like Red Hawk, where it's usually
Right,
small
right.
things, you have to reduce it.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right there, too, that it's like, yeah, it's going around things that your opponent
Yes.
is trying to buffer away. Also, the leaning towards 4/6s and 5/6s, you know, being like really big right now. I mean, like,
Yeah.
they picked a great number for it.
This is
for
a
3.
good number, yeah.
This is a good number. I mean, the fact you can be on 10 Dawn, play an Ace, swing with Ace, and then protect the Ace, like, against the board that already exists by, like, countering the leader attack and then being able to pop, like, leaving something that is a 6K base or less, and then popping that
And
with
the
this.
trigger being like...
The trigger being relevant is
Yeah.
so good. Like, killing a Borsalino is nuts.
Nuts. Very
Yeah.
good. Very good card.
You're really selling me. I'm going to stick with a 3, but you're really selling me on giving this a higher rating.
Yeah, right?
The Midi Mary.
Oh, Thriller Bark.
1 cost stage. Nope, just draw Hecker.
No, I mean, but like...
Nope, just I don't know what I'm talking about. Just draw Hecker.
Did it come out
Activate
in
me,
Thriller
you
Bark?
may rest this card and
Oh,
place
my.
one of your characters with 1,000 base
Oh,
power
my.
at the bottom of your deck. Draw a card. This card is weird. It feels like it's going to be... This is the kind of card that comes out, doesn't get played for like 2 to 3 years, and then somehow you look at the card pool back and you're like, wait a minute, there's a weird combo
This
deck
lit,
now.
yeah,
like,
yeah.
Like, this is like some shit like from Yu-Gi-Oh! That comes out like in the
Yeah.
first 5 sets when they don't know what they're doing, and it's super unplayable.
This
And
is
then
Rescue
like
Rabbit.
10 years later, Rescue Rabbit was super
Was it
playable on Rip. What are you talking about?
on Rip? I have
You're
no
thinking
idea.
about Rescue Cat maybe. I don't know
okay,
how I
maybe,
wasn't
I
back
don't
when
know.
Rescue
Yeah.
Cat was released. Maybe that was as broken. Rescue Rabbit was broken on release. Dude.
I'm a fake Yu-Gi-Oh player.
Oh yeah, Rescue Rabbit was in my heyday. Let me tell you.
Yeah.
I give this a 2 because it's an interesting way for Red to recur like cards when they would be attacked
Sure.
down because they give so many small things in attacks and they're just going to lose. It is like a nice way of like, okay, attacked with this thing. It is just going to die. I also kind of rather they just attack my life, so I'm gonna exchange this for drawing removal, drawing a new threat to play and set up for next turn, drawing counter power. So I'll give this a 2. It's not unplayable. I definitely see the line.
I'll give it a 2.
The investment's also 1 Dawn, and being a 1 Dawn investment for me makes it like super, like you can get me on board, you know?
It's so weird. I don't
is
know.
super weird.
I wonder what the other... I think the other cards will give it context, and that's what I'm waiting on.
That is all for the red cards, the Extra Boost Memorial set, but we have more colors coming out, so make sure to subscribe to the channel, check out when those videos drop. Luke, crazy red cards. Super excited to play a lot of these.
I really, really am super excited for that Kid and Killer. I cannot wait to slot that into like multiple decks. Holy crap.
Koza Oden!
Oh, it's so good. Oh, it's so good.